Hello and welcome to cookingflavors.com. For today's video, we look at a very simple yet tasty vegetarian lunch menu. I'll show you what I cooked this Saturday for lunch. These are the things that I cooked: tomato dal, pumpkin poriyal, yam vadhakkal, rasam, and of course white rice and some curd. We look at the preparation. First, we'll get things that needs to go into the cooker ready. I have a half cup of tur dal which I soaked in water for half an hour. Always when you soak your dal prior, it'll cook faster and well. I've added a pinch of turmeric powder, a pinch of asafoetida, and some sesame oil. You can also use castor oil or the velakenne. When you add oil, what happens when the dal cooks, it will not fluff outside and the dal will cook evenly well and it'll cook faster also. Now, along with these ingredients, I'm adding in just about a quarter of an onion roughly chopped, and along with that I'm adding in two tomatoes, one of the Natu Takkali variety and the other of the Bangalore Takkali. The Natu Takkali variety will give you a nice sour taste in this dal and it will be really good in this dish. And I'm adding in two green chilies that I have slit lengthwise, and goes in a few curry leaves and some coriander leaves. Now we'll add in the required amount of water just for the dal to immerse, because the tomatoes will also start losing water when it gets cooked. Now this is ready. We'll keep this aside. Now we look at the yam preparation. This also needs to go into the pressure cooker. Now I get a frozen yam here. So this is already pre-cut into cubes. If you get the whole yam, the raw yam, make sure you cut it into smaller pieces or smaller cubes like this. Now we need to add in, I'll show you a little bit of tomato. Don't miss out on the tomato for this recipe. Tomato, when it gets cooked along with the yam, it gives a super good taste and flavor, so don't avoid that. And along with the tomatoes, I'm just adding in a little bit of turmeric powder and a little bit of chili powder. My chili powder also has coriander powder in it, so if you have them separately, add in coriander powder as well and adjust it according to your spice level, and a little bit of salt. I'll slowly mix this with my hands. I've already smashed the tomatoes with my hands as well. I'm just sprinkling a little bit of water because frozen yam is already a little bit of half cooked, so it doesn't need too much of water, and when it gets cooked, I want it in a very soft kind of a texture. So accordingly, I don't want it very firm, so accordingly add the required amount of water. Now we'll set that aside, and now this is pumpkin. I making a poriyal out of it, so I'm just adding in a little bit of turmeric powder and salt and mixing it with my hands, and I'll only be sprinkling a little bit of water because pumpkin itself will give in a lot of water, so you don't have to add in too much of water. And I'm basically going to steam cook this pumpkin. This poriyal tastes very well when done with the yellow pumpkin, but since I had a little bit of leftover of this white pumpkin, I thought I'll make it into a poriyal. So I'm just mixing it with my hands. So we'll get the dal, yam and this pumpkin into the cooker. Now I'm using my larger pressure pan. I've poured some water and put a stand on it, and I'm placing my dal, the dal vessel into it, and then on top of it I'm putting in the yam. In the middle of the yam I'm placing in my pumpkin bowl. Give it a maximum 4 to 5 whistles. You know the nature of your pressure cooker, so accordingly you can pressure cook this. I'm giving it 5 whistles today, so after that we look at it. While that's getting pressure cooked, we look at the preparation of the rasam recipe. I've already soaked in some tamarind and tomato, and I've taken the pulp out of it. Adjust the tamarind according to the sourness that you require. I've added in about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder and a pinch of asafoetida or hing. I've already posted rasam recipes in detail on our channel. I'll link it in the description box below. You can take a look at it as well. Now I'm adding in the required amount of rasam powder. This rasam powder is homemade. I'll link that recipe also in the description box below. Now goes in the required amount of salt, and we'll mix this all well. After mixing it, you can taste for the sourness and the spice level in the rasam and adjust it accordingly. Now goes in a few curry leaves and coriander leaves. Now always for my rasam I do a little bit of add in a freshly ground ingredients. Though all these ingredients are present in the rasam powder, when you grind this freshly and when you add it in the seasoning, it gives a super good taste and flavor. So basically they are just about half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, just about 4 to 5 peppercorns, the black peppercorns, and now I'm adding in about 2 curry leaves and 3 cloves of garlic. Always retain the peel of the garlic for its health benefits. Now I pound that well. We'll do the seasoning. I've taken a pan, add a little bit of oil and just about 1 teaspoon of ghee. Always for seasoning and rasam, ghee gives a nice taste and flavor. Now once then I've added mustard seeds. Once they crackle, I've added in just 1 red chili. And then I've added in the ground ingredients, the freshly ground ingredients, that is the cumin seeds, the peppercorns, the garlic, and the curry leaves. We'll fry and saute that well till it gives a nice aroma. And then I'm adding in a little bit of the rasam, mixing it all well and transferring it into the rasam bowl. Now we'll have to allow this rasam to come to a nice rolling boil, and then we'll add in some coriander leaves and switch off the stove. By then my cooker also has finished its 5 whistles, and we'll put that aside. While my rasam is getting ready, I'll show you for the pumpkin poriyal, I've ground in some fresh coconut and I've kept that aside. Now along with a little bit of coconut and fennel seeds, add in just a little bit of water and grind this into a paste for our Yam Vadhakkal. Now see, our rasam has come to a nice boil. I've added in coriander leaves and I'm switched off the stove. Now we look at the seasoning for the dal. Again in a pan, I've added in a little bit of oil and a little bit of ghee, added in some mustard seeds. We'll wait for the mustard seeds to crackle, and then I'm adding in just about a little bit of cumin seeds and 1 dry red chili. After my dal cooked, I took out the green chilies from it, because once you smash it, green chili is given very pungent flavor, so I've taken it out, but it's always your wish to retain it. I've added just about a tablespoon of onions and a few curry leaves. Always adding onions in your tatka or seasoning gives your dish a nice aromatic flavor. Now we'll transfer the seasoning into the dal, and we'll simmer this for about 5 minutes. It doesn't need too much of simmering, just for 5 minutes for the seasoning to combine well with the dal. At this stage, you can adjust the consistency of the dal that you require. You can take it in a thicker consistency or a little runny consistency as you wish. We'll give it 5 minutes, add in some coriander leaves, and switch off the stove. Now we'll do the pumpkin poriyal. I've taken a kadai, added oil, added in some mustard seeds. We'll wait for the mustard seeds to splutter and crackle, adding in a little bit of cumin seeds. As I told you, this tastes very good with the yellow pumpkin. You can try that as well. Added in some urad dal and some chana dal. We'll wait for the dals to brown up a little. And I'm adding in a few green chilies. Green chilies give a better taste for this poriyal rather than the red chilies. I've added in some coriander leaves, curry leaves, and a few pieces of ginger, and then goes in about half to quarter an onion. We'll fry this well till the onions turn nice and translucent. Now if you see, this is how my pumpkin is cooked, nice and soft. Pumpkin keeps giving out a lot of water, so after you add it, you have to keep frying till all the water completely dries out. So I'm mixing it all well till the pumpkin just combines and the water completely kind of almost evaporates from this. Now while that's getting done, if you see, my dal has simmered to the perfect consistency that I require, and we'll transfer that into that serving dish. Now I'm adding in a little bit of the coconut, grated coconut, and we'll switch off the stove. Now we look at the Yam Vadhakkal. I've taken the same pan and added some oil, and I'm going to shallow fry the yam. You don't have to deep fry it. I'm frying the yam along with the tomatoes. Don't discard the tomatoes. That gives the taste of this dish. Now when you fry it, don't fry it in a very crispy texture like how we do for a plain yam fry. Take it at a previous stage. It should be crispy, but yet it should retain the softness. I'll show you. I've fried one batch. See, it looks crisp. but when I press it down, it looks nice and soft. So you have to make sure when you pressure cook it, you need to pressure cook it at this consistency. No, only when it's soft it will taste good for this Yam Vadhakkal recipe. So we'll fry all this and we'll look at the Vadhakkal. Now, if you see, we'll get the vadakal ready. In the meantime, I've put the rice also in the cooker. So by the time we do this, our rice will also get ready. I've added in some oil and added a few mustard seeds, and I'm adding in just two small pieces of cinnamon. After adding in the cinnamon, I'm adding in a few curry leaves and coriander leaves, and then we'll add in a little bit of onions. We'll saute these onions well, both for the pumpkin poriyal and the yam badakal. Small onions, that is a sambar venkayam, will taste very good. So if you have that, you can always add in that. Now we'll fry these onions well. At this stage, you can also add in just about half a tablespoon of ginger and garlic paste. That will taste even much better, but I've not added it today. Now we'll add in the fried yam. We'll just have to toss it well. There's no more cooking required, so just toss it well till it combines with the onions thoroughly, because both the yam is cooked and the onions have fried well. Combine them well, toss it nicely, give it 2 minutes. Then we'll add in our coconut and fennel paste. Add in as much as you want, just a little bit. After adding in the coconut, you don't have to cook it for too long, just 2 minutes of frying and mixing. Tasty and yummy yam vadakal is also ready. Now we look at the plating, that is serving all this onto our plate. Now onto our plate, we'll serve in the white rice. I'm adding in just about a little bit of ghee. This is our pumpkin poriyal, our yam vadakal. Since it's a Saturday, I made two side dishes, and this sudal chickpea, boiled chickpeas, I made during for snack time. There's a little bit of it, so I'm just serving that also onto the plate. Now on top of the rice, I'm adding in the dal. After finishing the dal and rice, we'll add in the rasam and then the curd. So just to show you, I'm placing my rasam and curd onto my plate. A tasty and super easy, yummy, sumptuous Saturday lunch is ready. Hope you like this recipe today, a vegetarian lunch menu. If you did, please do give us a thumbs up and post in your comments and suggestions below. If you are new to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell symbol to get all our updates as soon as we upload our videos. And if you like to see this recipe in Tamil, I've posted it the same on our Samayal Suvai channel. I'll link that also in the description box below. Till we see you again with another new and interesting recipe, thank you and happy cooking.